Thank you for joining today's video. Today I want to talk about how to provide an excellent customer service. So we live at a time where there is a lot of negative press when companies fail to deliver a great customer service. And most of the time it's not really about, this press coming from mainstream media, but word of mouth. So when people visit a business or a company, or when they go somewhere and they don't get what they expected in terms of customer service, or they get a poor customer service, the word is going to go around so fast. And if you want to stand out, you need to rethink how you treat your customers. You have to treat the customer as a king. And of course, the customer is always the king. And so you have to prioritize their needs. But much more, you have to value your customers. You have to make every opportunity to interact with your customer and to deliver services count. You have to make sure that your customer feels valued and appreciated. You have to make sure that your customer is number one when it comes to your business. So a business that fails to put the customer first is the business that is planning to fail woefully. And so if you want to succeed in your business, or whatever it is, your projects you want to carry out in your community, or wherever you find yourself, you have to understand these principles of customer service, or of delivering a great customer experience. So today, I just wanted to go through these things. And one thing I've come to understand, you see so many customers leaving businesses, or simply moving from one a company to another to get the same service. One of the reasons is because they don't feel valued and appreciated in one place where they've been receiving their services. And so they're moving to where they feel like they're going to be valued, they're going to be appreciated. And so the question really is, how can you show your customers that you care? And it's simple. You just have to provide an excellent customer service. And that is the one thing that's going to create loyal customers. It's going to cause customers to keep coming back and enjoying the services that you provide. So let's dive in straight and talk about the 5 customer service skills, or how to provide customer service, 5 great steps or 5 great things you can do to provide this amazing customer experience. And the very first thing we want to look at is that you have to respond quickly. You have to respond as quickly as possible when customers have concerns, when customers have complaints. You have to respond. So being responsive is absolutely important for any entity, for any business, when it comes to providing customer service. You're not just going to brush the customers' worries or concerns under the rug, because they will resurface again. So you have to make sure that you give a listening ear to every customer. If they have worries, you have to make sure that you are listening, and of course, listening attentively, listening actively, and taking steps. So you're not just listening to please them, but you're listening in order to provide a solution. And of course, they will know that you're listening to provide a solution when they see the next steps you're going to take after that experience or that incident. So make sure that you respond quickly. So if they're requesting for something, if they're requesting for time, if they're requesting for a better service, make sure you listen to your customers and make sure that you can respond. One of the biggest factors in good customer service really is speed. It's just the ability to act fast, quickly, promptly. So especially when the client is requesting for something, how fast can you deliver? It's part of being responsive. So the faster you are in delivering what the customer needs or what they're requesting, the better it is for you in the industry or in whatever area you find yourself. So if you are a business manager, or you are a customer experience associate, or if you are a front line staff in any business or venture or organization, make sure that you are responsive and that you are taking action. So if a customer comes into a hotel lobby and gives a complaint, For instance, say my room is not clean. Are you that frontline staff who's going to immediately dispatch someone, or you yourself go into that room and make sure it's taken care of? So that is part of being responsiveness, the ability to act fast in order to secure your customer base, is what I'm talking about. And so you have to make sure that as you build your brand, that you have this at the back of your mind, being responsive to your customers, and not taking their complaints, not taking their worries for granted, making sure that whatever it is that is troubling them is troubling you as well. And that is something that the customer will always appreciate. So make sure that you're not taking things for granted, and make sure that you are appreciating your customer by taking steps to resolve their concerns. I know there are always going to be angry customers, but as someone who's seeking to be responsive, how are you going to deal with this? I think you can focus on what it is that is making them angry and seek to solve it, rather than focusing on the personality. Sometimes they're not angry at you, but they're angry at the situation. So how can you tackle that situation without coming across as an angry customer service representative, or an angry frontline staff? So that is the very first thing. You have to be responsive. An unresponsive business is a dead business. So if you represent the business at the front line, make sure that you are as responsive as possible. You are communicating openly and clearly to your customers, and getting feedback from them and acting on that feedback. The next thing is that you need to know your customers. A business that doesn't know its customers ultimately will not be able to effectively deliver, or will not be able to meet their needs. So to be able to satisfy your customers and deliver a great customer experience, or provide excellent customer experience, you have to know who your customers are. You have to understand their needs. You have to understand their dislikes. And one of the things I've often encouraged is the ability to collect feedback from the customers. Maybe if you run a restaurant, you should have a suggestion box. I know this may sound old school. There could be, valuable feedback coming through that Dropbox. And now we live in a very technological era. There is social media. So if you have a social media page, make sure you're paying attention to the comments that people are making, because then you can act on that feedback as well, so you can understand how your customer feels. You need to know how they feel in order to know whether you are falling short of their expectations, or you're meeting their needs. So great customer interaction is going to actually begin with you knowing your customers, knowing what they want and what they need. And customers, they love personalization. They love the ability for you to just focus on them as an individual, not looking at them as an entity, like putting them in just a basket of every other customer. If you can be able to treat every customer that come your way as an individual who has needs and who has, of course, dislikes, then you will stand out, and customers can appreciate that. And to get to know your customers, you have to remember their names. Something as simple as calling a customer by their name can mean so much to them. So know them by their names, and also if you can remember previous conversations, and be able to make references to the past experience you've had with them. Imagine a customer who's come to your business maybe 5 times, and yet you don't know their names. That can be something that points to the fact that you don't know your customer, and they would want to go somewhere where they can be appreciated, where they can be addressed by their names. When you call someone by their name, you're personalizing them, and you're making the experience for them memorable. Imagine walking through the restaurant door and somebody greeting you by your name. Somebody maybe you thought didn't even know you, or you just thought you just coming to have your regular meal and get out, and somebody is greeting you and referencing your name. That can be something that would stand out, and something that can draw you back to that business, because they care, they know you. And when you know someone by their name, you can create a personal connection. And there's nothing as sweet in the ear as hearing your own name being called back to you. And so the next thing we want to talk about is that you need to fix your mistakes. You have to address your mistakes. All of us were vulnerable. We are likely going to make a mistake. There's no gainsaying about this fact. And so you have to take responsibility for your mistakes. You have to be able to own your own errors as a customer experience associate or representative, or as a business in general. You have to be able to, you know, own your own mistakes. That's a great way to start to deal with a bad reputation. If you're someone who is very defensive, if you're a business that's building its brand and always looking for ways to justify their actions, then that is something that you want to step back and address as quickly as possible, as quickly as you can, because before long, people are going to know that you are always shifting the blame. You're not always taking responsibility over your actions, even when they point those mistakes to you. So transparency is important in business, and customer service experience is no different. So you have to make sure that as a customer experience person, that you're taking responsibility. If something goes wrong, acknowledge that it is your fault, and if indeed it was your fault. We're not just saying you should take responsibility over actions that you're not responsible for. So make sure that you're not shifting blame. You can take responsibility over the business. So if you're at the front line, don't say it was because of the manager that this didn't work out well. Say, we understand this has not worked out well as you expected. We're going to make it right. You're taking responsibility. Don't shift blame to any other person. That is going to constitute a part of providing a great customer experience. The next thing is that you have to go the extra mile. So there is that feeling of satisfaction as a customer you get when you see somebody making an effort to look for something maybe you need and maybe they don't have. I remember walking into this provision store in one of the cities in Cameroon and asking for something, and this guy simply told me he didn't have it. And then when I moved to the next store, this guy said he didn't have it, but he promised he was going to go to somewhere where he knew they had it. And he did go there and brought the thing back to me, and I felt really, really satisfied with what he did. And imagine as a customer coming back to that same place to get a service. Do you think I'm going to go to the person who went the extra mile, or someone who just simply sat in one place and told me they couldn't get what I wanted? Of course, I'll go to the person who would go the extra mile. So going the extra mile is something that, can really, really create loyal customers, because they know that you will end at nothing to make sure they're satisfied or to make sure they get what they want. And there is nothing as important as having happy customers who know that you will go the extra mile, you will go a long way, and that you will stop at nothing to satisfy their needs. So make sure that you're going out that extra mile. It's very important, and it's something that's going to keep you in business, and it's going to draw more customers to you. And you don't want to take that for granted, like just sitting in one place and proving to a customer that you're a lazy customer service representative. So in most cases, you have to make sure that you are appreciative also of your customer. Just a thank you as well can prove that you're going an extra mile. Someone has had a meal in your restaurant and is leaving and pays you, you can always offer a thank you. That's going out of your way. Of course, they got something and they paid for it, but you're thanking them, and they would always want to come and spend their money where they feel appreciated and where they feel valued. No one wants to spend their money where they're not appreciated. So make sure you're going the extra mile in every way possible. And the last thing is that you have to think long term. A customer is for life. Don't just think of a customer as someone who's passing. Think of a customer as someone who is going to be in this journey with you to accompany you to your success as a business. So think long term when dealing with your customers. Is really what I'm driving home here. And by keeping customers happy, they will be loyal, and through word of mouth, they will definitely spread the word of the good work you're doing, and they will draw many other customers to you. And so that constitute free advertisement. That is something that you should understand as a business, and you should seek to train your customer service representative in thinking this way, thinking long term, thinking of a customer as someone who is there for the long term, not just for the short term, because of course it's a customer that will uh, bring success to the business. A business without customers is dead, as simple as that. So that being said, I want to encourage you to make sure that as a business you are training your frontline staff in these skills, and making sure that they are equipped to provide an excellent customer experience. Thank you for watching, and spread the word and share the video if you've been blessed by this, and may God bless you.